Hello everybody and happy International Women's Day. My name's Fran Kelly. I'm the presenter of a program called Radio National Breakfast, normally every morning Monday to Friday at 6 o'clock, but thankfully, because I'm here today, I get to sleep in tomorrow, and that's a blessing. This series is called One Just World Forum. It's a new series. The aim of it is to try and engage the community in a conversation about the big issues, the big development issues, the issues of poverty, the issue of HIV/AIDS, the issue of women's health or lack of health, and those sorts of things. And there's a number of forums that are held through the country in different cities. This is a new thing, to bring it here to Womadelaide and to bring the gig to you. I first celebrated International Women's Day right here in Adelaide many years ago. 1975, I marched with my mum and my sister. It was International Women's Year. The crowd was enormous. And I think I probably took to the streets every March the 8th for the next 20 years or so as we campaigned for equal pay, equal rights, the right to choose, the right to walk the streets safely at night. And I suppose on all those things, we've come a long way, baby, as they say. We've won a lot, not quite all, but that's probably why International Women's Day today is not quite the rallying point it once was. But that's not true around the world. In many countries, March the 8th, International Women's Day, is still a massive affair. And I think the reasons for that are obvious. Here we are at Womadelaide. We're celebrating world music. I think it's important we also celebrate the contribution of women around the world, and also acknowledge that for many, equality remains really little more than a faint hope. And a day like today, International Women's Day, March the 8th, it's important that we remember it, that we mark it, that we have these conversations to know that women around the world are still struggling, really, to get anything close to equal rights. In many countries, women and girls aren't allowed to go to school. They're not allowed to learn to read. Hundreds of millions of women in the world live in poverty. Of the more than 1 billion people around the world who live on less than $1 a day, 60% of those are women, yet women produce more than 50% of the world's food and own less than 1% of the world's agricultural land. And I think that's the very equation that says it all. Millions of women still die in childbirth every single day, or have many more children than they want to have or they can care for properly, and yet many governments just refuse to prioritise basic maternal health services, family planning services for women. A UN study recently found that violence against women is the most common but least punished crime in the world. And at the extreme end of that, of course, in too many countries, women are still stoned to death, women are set alight, women are covered in acid in so-called honour killings. Women are trafficked in their millions around the world. Sex slavery is a major part of that. Women are hugely underrepresented too, of course, in parliaments around the world. In our own Pacific region, only 1% of seats in parliaments are held by women. In this One Just World Forum, we're going to hear from one woman who's been a bit of a trailblazer in her country of South Africa. Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka was a minister in the South African government and a deputy president of her party, the ANC, until recently. And we'll also hear from Julia Newton-Howes. Julia is the Chief Executive of Care Australia, which provides support, at the front line of the developing issues, the issues of basic water, food, medicine for millions of people. And I think on a day like today, it's all very well to look overseas and look at the job that needs to be done to provide equality for women, but things aren't perfect here either. Yes, we do have a female Deputy Prime Minister, that's a first. Yes, we have a female Head of State, that's a first, and that's all good. But women still make up only 28% of the House of Reps in this country, and incredibly, women still earn on average $286 a week less than their male counterparts, which is incredible. And of course, the streets really are still not safe to walk alone at night, and the greatest social justice issue, I think, for women in this country remains domestic violence, which still impacts on too many families. So we still have a job to do here, and forums like this are just to remind us to keep on our toes. We're going to think about these very big issues here today. We're going to talk about these issues that are prevalent and front of mind for women in many countries around the world. And we're also going to hear some stories of triumph and hope, some stories where women are faced with great inequality, but they manage to turn that around and achieve amazing things within that. And importantly, this is WOMAD, of course, so we're going to hear some music too. We've got some fabulous acts from WOMAD, and a couple of musicians are here, not just to play and sing for you, but also to talk to you about the issues in their countries. One Just World is a new national series of forums focusing on global development and poverty. I'll just tell you a little bit about it because it's a partnership between AusAid and International Women's Development Agency, World Vision, and a university partner in each city. And it's here to inform you, but it's also about a conversation, to open up the conversation for all of us to learn a bit more and hopefully take that away to our families, to our friends, to our workplaces, and just build the conversation to move it forward, as they say. And this special One Just World Forum has been organised in conjunction with Womadelaide.